like the World Cup on Saturdays, but like my brother was well into guys like The Miz, and I just didn't really care.
I just don't like it as a song.
Yeah.
Like, I know, I guess, like,
It's like I came to play. There's a price to pay. Time to get down on your knees. I came to play.
But this is The Miz who runs away.
What's he doing? What's he going to play if somebody has to get on their knees? This song is a lot more sinister. It's a lot more sinister than Twister.
It's a bit of a Twister.
No, because you don't put your knee on anything. If you put your knees down, you lose. Unless he tells somebody to deliberately lose the game.
I came to play. Get down on your knees.
All right,
This is my Twister board. I'm The Miz.
Is this the Twister?
But it's a song, it's a theme. It never did. For much of The Miz's career, he was a heel. He never came to play anything. He ran away.
The whole thing is, I get it works in that way because it's like he was such a chicken-poo heel that he was the type where he was like, well, I'm out here busting my ass. It's like, no, you're not. But like, so it feeds into that mentality.
He
but
was,
it's like,
though. He was very safe. That was the point.
Yeah, but
in wrestling, 250 days a year.
I mean, in character. But like, yeah, it's even now with the quiet on the set. Can we please have quiet on the set?
Miz's entrance has six. Is it? We've got the quiet on the set. There's one intro. Also, there's the second of the intro.
I came to play as well.
The intro. There's just too much going on. This sort of it's been long enough. So next up we have the. Oh no, I've done.
Oh, you've done that. We're back to normal then.
I've done it, Tom. So next up we have The Game by Triple H, which.
Yeah, Game is top tier. That opening call, that opening E, where it's just like, bam, it's incredible.
How many times in your lifetime have you stood in the shower, waited for the thing, and then upwards of 50, I reckon, after upwards of 50.
It's just an incredible theme, and like, I mean, for it to be Motorhead, because the thing is, the game is built off of the back of My Time, which is why it's such a good song as well. Like, the chord structure is just the chord structure from My Time. And instead of the it's just the high pitch, like like that instead.
Like, remember the thing they had in between My Time and The Game?
No.
It's on the anthology album. It's a hard thing to try and explain, but he used it in a pay-per-view. I think it was Armageddon 2000. Go back and watch it. I would argue, if they put lyrics on that, which I think it might just be almost the same as the full name of the night video.
This is what I think they did was when he was trying to shop it around, because I remember reading an interview with Triple H where it was like, I think they were trying to get him to come out to stuff like rap and weirder music, and he's like, it's just not me, like I like Motorhead, and he's like, he did the whole My Time. I think he didn't like My Time very much, but then like, he did the whole My Time thing, and I think it was very much a case of, if I could convince Motorhead to do this, please Vince.
Hold down that relationship though, because he was legitimately pals with Lemmy.
He went to Lemmy's funeral. He was a guest at Lemmy's funeral, and he spoke about it quite a lot. And I think the first meeting he said was at a music festival or was it a gig. And he went along to. They basically told management want to come along and chat. And I think he might have met Lemmy a couple of times before this. And I'm sure he said something like, "We went backstage. We're getting directed to Lemmy's locker room, and it's like, oh, there's Lemmy's dressing room." He knocks on the door, and Lemmy's just like, come in, and then he opens the door and walks in. Lemmy's just there with these two, like, topless lasses, loaded, like, just stuff on the table that shouldn't be there. And he blocks Steph and just goes, hang on, just closed the door. And then, like, everything was gone, like, magically when the door opened, and then they, like, sat down and had a conversation. But yeah, he delivered quite a humorous speech at Lemmy's funeral about their relationship, and it's like, really interesting, because it's one of the weird situations where Triple H is being a human. Yeah. You never really see him be a human. So it's like one of those, if you can find it anywhere, I'd suggest watching it.
Stephanie ruins all the fun, doesn't she?
So next up we have Daniel Bryan, Flight of the Owl Valkyries. Flight of the Valkyries, if you take it as a song on its own, it's got to be S tier, because it's hundreds of years old, but whoa!
Sam, I never understood why he used it.
Neither do I.
And as a theme, I know it's great.
It's more akin to coming over a hill in Vietnam in a film like Apocalypse Now and about to rain hellfire upon the masses. But like,
if you want to move that, you can move it. But that's where I'm suggesting it goes.
Because the thing is, the parameter for C, as we've established, is that it fits the character at least. So Shane's theme fit him when he was younger, and then they've sort of had to use it as as an animal, because like that's the only thing they can't debut a new theme with him. Sheamus's theme fits him. E is like sucky stuff that doesn't quite fit the character. D is like why are they using this?
I mean, it's a good song on its own,
but he comes out and he's giving it that, and he's skipping down the ramp and that.
I never understood why he used it. I don't even think it's like...
I think, like, it's
WWE version as well.
Because it's the metal version, yeah. I don't know, because, like, obviously he used to use the Final Countdown. Maybe it's a big dramatic thing. I'm pretty sure you get the rights from Europe for a pretty penny.
Especially when I was in his haircut.
Yeah.
So next up we have John Cena, Word Life, Basic Thugonomics, which is a solid Sam.
Oh, I thought you were going to do it with Neff there. I think you're right, because I think it's going to sound real controversial. I think in terms of if we take our own personal feelings out of it, his current theme is more iconic.
Iconic, yeah, but better no.
No, this is the thing. It's like if the S class is iconic and A is just incredible, then that's where that belongs. And you know, the current theme.
The lyrics are just fantastic.
Yeah.
Bailey singing along back in the day. Remember that day? It was halcyon days.
I haven't seen that.
Oh, she's in the. I think she's in the car with Carmella.
Yeah.
Bay Nella. On the road.
Bay Nella. Yeah.
On the road, having to sing
that famous tag team.
Yeah. I might get the lyrics up actually. Sam, spit some facts.
Word Live. This is John Cena-onomics.
Cena. Thug.
I wake up listening to John Cena talking to me at about 4 a.m. I watch baseball sometimes before I go to bed when I don't feel sleepy, because baseball goes on forever, so it's just sort of nice to have on in the background. So I like golf.
The intro, the intro?
Yeah.
So, you think you're untouchable?
Yeah.
Who came out then with like, you can't touch this? Who did
You
that?
can't touch this.
I can't.
MC Hammer.
I know it is, but who came out with like a contradictory theme? It was like, so, he said, no, it was Vince was like, I'm untouchable, and Cena came out with so, you think you're untouchable?
Nice.
Oh, SmackDown, oh, that's the days.
Yeah, John Cena does adverts now. He's just done like adverts for car insurance, for he's done a really good advert for like pro LGBT charities. And it's just I just wake up at like 4 a.m. and it's just John Cena walking down the street going like, what makes a real American? And I'm like, what? Like those
Oscar, my discipline is unforgiven, got you back in up in the defensive position. An ass-kicking anthem, heavyweight anthem, golden council dancer, a microphone phantom. Teams hit the floor. How does he do it? Team hits it. No. Speaks about joints and points and no nonsense and reinforcements. It's just a fantastic game. You should have a offer.
I should have had it with that.
Yeah, but I can sing and everything. Well,
yeah, iconic.
it's not even, you can't even say,
Good
like,
lord, really?
Again, it's all the same as the game. It's the opening chords. Like, oh, it's just amazing.
it's just at one point in my life, so I want to have maybe not which is never gonna happen.
Yeah.
I want to go to somewhere like Miami,
Yeah.
buy a convertible car, and
Yeah.
put the roof down, and drink an alcoholic beverage in the front seat while driving.
Yeah.
And don't do like kids.
So we'll go back to the 980s now.
And just blast this, the wind running through my hair.
Yeah. I'm going to grow your hair out on the occasion. Go get a nice bullet with like a
I don't know what you say about your music like this. There's great to sing along to.
Yeah.
One of the best to sing along to.
It's genuinely just amazing. Sorry, I think we got cut off there with camera. But yeah, Evolution thing, you can't really say anything bad about it because it's amazing.
Everyone knows the first one.
Yeah.
Evolution is a mystery.
Right. Are you ready?
That was pretty sultry, that. You want to speak to me in that voice a lot
Guitar
more?
tracks.
Are you ready?
Controversially.
Oh my God! Don't say it. Do not say it.
I don't think I put it in that class.
Oh, it's got to go in S class.
Although, yeah, the riff actually, the riff's amazing. The
When they played it live for Jim Johnson, the guitar line in the volume 2. WrestleMania before DX Band Live is awful. But they did, no, there was that one, I think it was the show where they did the American Anthem.
Yeah.
Oh, that was dreadful as well. But that just, it fits Shawn Michaels then, when it's got against Austin.
I think that's whenever I hear this song, I hear the lyrics and I'm like, oh, God. But like, yeah, the music is the
I think that's what it is. We're on about iconic themes.
Yeah.
It's iconic.
now we got Kevin Owens, Steve. I'll say that to Steve. I'm just trying to stop me when you feel a bit too outraged.
I was going to say One Eye. I think it's a good, hard-hitting song. I think that's the limit it can go, though.
I think very bold of Steve. Yeah. I don't think it's just bad. Like, if you want a wrestling thing, you want it to get... It reminds me of Dean Ambrose. Yeah. Oh my God, guys. God, can you believe it? He's the whacking line. This is the guy that used to just glass people in the matches. It'd be great.
Now again.
Yeah. Next up, we have Sammy Bates. No, I think it's perfect. The Scar theme is wonderful. I'm a big fan of Scar music.
Yeah, it was just what it, I don't know how to describe it. You know what, this song just...
Yeah.
It was a fan. It made you feel good.
You can listen to it without being like, oh, listen to a wrestling theme. You can listen to it walking down the street with
Smiling.
Yeah.
Before you attack them.
So next up we have Seth Rollins. And I'm going to say something, right?
It's, I think it's one of our favorites. But I like it one of
But it's got to it. The thing is, I've got to ask one question, right? Is this pre-last year, or is it the current theme? Because if it has Burn It Down in it, it can sit in that bottom tier.
Yeah.
Burn it down! Like, no, it was so much better when it had that silence, when it was just like...
I don't like the second silence, though.
And then it just goes silent.
Yeah.
And it's like...
And he walks out. It makes
It's
sense.
huge.
Make
It
complete
was
sense.
so good, but now when it's like... Burn it down!
To be fair though, I say the same thing to you.
Yeah.
I said this Will Ospreay on Straight to Hell.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon came to you and said, Seth, or Sam, we're gonna put it this way to burn it down. You're gonna burn it down. Burn it down real good. Yes, burn it down harder. And we're gonna put this on a
You
t-shirt.
can't say no to him, can you?
Yeah.
He's literally...
And then,
you say no to him once, and he'll stop coming to your house parties. He'll stop coming over
That's
for a
why
barbecue.
Christian was never used, because he didn't want to cut his hair short.
He thought he was ugly. He wanted to put a blue dot over his face.
Apparently he was scared of being a dude as well, Christian, which I've always found weird, because Christian was a fantastic heel.
Heel.
When they were the other Americans, they were scared.
Yeah.
But to continue my point, if he came to you and said, we're going to create this catchphrase, put it on
You
your
can't
theme,
say no.
and then sell the Lindsay t-shirts to kids and make you a lot of money, you wouldn't say no. The old theme without that is fantastic.
I personally think... No, it's not. It says Burn It Down. This t-shirt, bloody hell. Oh, when Massacre hit him.
The old chaos hovers still.
That was pretty cool. Let's see this one. Quick. Take this. It looks like they could be coffins. Lots of coffins.
D.
Yeah. I think
The
so.
different day.
The thing is, it's got nothing to do with Zest. That's just the guy that goes, alright, and goes up there. The same, except for that
It's what that one little sentence represents. It's forced, isn't it? Forced. Like, so forced. I can't just like perfection. Because I prefer perfection in that nature. If the song was different, it would be S tier.
You need to edit that together and put it onto it.
It would be S tier, but the rest of the song is severely lacking in my opinion.
The thing is, like, the opening's huge, it's like, I'm here to show the world, I'm here, and it's like huge, and you get the, and then it just goes like, it's stuck two songs together, like, I'm here to show the world that
Dolls in the water. It's the theme. That liar from the In-Betweeners would have a thing as a wrestler. Chain from the In-Betweeners would have this theme. Yeah. I think it used to be good.
I think, like,
It's not.
in a way it fits his character, because most of the time he's that annoying little, like, arsehole, isn't he?
I think it's a firm D tier just because it does fit.
Complete overhaul. I quite like him at the minute under Corbin, where he's just being like the annoying little yes man. He thinks he's going to get his own way. He's going to play off Corbin. It's going to lead to something nice, but it's just like,
I think that's going to be one of the more controversial ones we've done so far. I'm surprised you disagreed. Oh, sorry, agreed. Didn't you?
yeah. Well, I didn't like his first one at all.
I prefer perfection, mate.
I am perfection. I am perfection. I am perfection. That's why I don't like it. Oh, this one's not even a question.
But, Sam,
Yeah.
his instrumental theme that he had when he first arrived in the invasion is better.
It starts off, well, that was just a rip-off of Walk by Pantera.
Yeah, but like, the one where he ran in the invasion sounded very different.
What was it?
But it happened, did you redo it at the start and that's what took it to the very top?
Well, that's it. They added an intro. Oh, and then the scream was one of a kind.
I do agree with one of the
And it's a real life song. You do like fine now. You do like
the thing WWE do well is say they deal like they do. Yeah, there's RVDs works well as a wrestling. The idea of
Edge is the guy that went to next. So, like, Edge went to Swansea Bridge apparently, and I was reading an article, like an interview with Mark Tremonti. And I'm not doing it, I think that Bob Metal, like, that must be like very heavy, very cute, like, defensive. Bridge for me represents, let's get the shots! I remember reading the interview, and this is next to them, they were like, and then they went like, because apparently Ed was so insistent, they were like, alright, yeah, let's do it. And then it was like, yeah, then all of a sudden Alpha's just started shifting. And it's like, I think, like, they sort of understand that Edge did quite a lot for them. Yeah. But I think, like, as much as I'm not a big Alter Bridge fan, I'm given the fact we're going to probably get this song very soon at a WrestleMania or Saudi Arabia
Triple H my time, I'm going to take control of that. Get it up there.
Next up we have this song. Can anybody
I know like this song is fantastic. Look, next up we have Shawn
wait, which one? Is it the Vince version? Is it the Sherry version, or is it the Shawn version?
Is it the Kurt version? All of the versions.
Second code's the best.
All the versions go up top.
You've heard Vince's version, right?
No.
So where originally, like, Sherry sang it, and then they went through a load of phases of a guy singing it, because Sean was like, it needs a guy, so the whole lyrics are like sexy boy and that.
Vince version.
Yeah.
Is it like they did a load of stuff, and
Vince wasn't happy with any of them, so Vince was like, right, this is how recorded a version, and they used it for it. I'm sure he came up to it, but it's straight up Vince just like, I think I'm you, I know what I'm saying. It's on YouTube, you can get it. It's legit, you can just see him up there doing a stab backhand to the dead. Like, you can just see him bringing up his shirt. Try the girls, right? Like that. I think that probably been better than whoever better than Sean's. Yeah. Next to the Sherry version, better. She's just like, the greatest team of all time.
I was going to say something massively controversial.
You cannot move that from that position. There is no way in hell you can move.
Austin?
The last Shattering is the most iconic style of wrestling we've ever. Like the box first of all is the fact that he went to Jim Johnson and said to Jim, I want something that sounds like Balls on Parade. And Jim came up with that. If it sounds like Balls on Parade, I'd be like, whoa, you did it. That's a better Johnson song.
I mean, it's sort of is, because like, and Balls on Parade, Balls on Parade's got a bit more bounce to it.
Yeah.
No, definitely. Austin's is more like, just hard. Like, Austin's is more like that. Rage is more like bouncy.
Yeah. And the second one is the Disturbed theme.
Awful. By far and away, the worst thing. It was like when Chris Jericho.
Oh, man.
It was like when Chris Jericho changed the theme to the whatever it was, the one we're talking about.
Is that just because he changed it, not because of the song? Do you know
But like, just no, like the theme was so iconic. It'd be like adding lyrics to the heart. Brett. It was like when you just hear it, David over the top of Steve Austin's theme, and it was just like, oh, as much as I love you guys, and I love you guys a lot, just leave this thing alone. Just hang out with Dave. Just cross the street.
I can feel the fire from the pitchforks. Through the camera somewhere.
They can come at me. Come at me on Twitter.
I mean, at me.
Oh, yeah, I do as well.
The intro is so much more than the actual song.
It's the best thing ever. And then it gets in the solo, it's like, where it's got all the other stuff going on behind it. It's like, best thing ever.
Now, I'm going to take control here.
Right. No! Electrifying? You cannot. You cannot put that in. If you spell the wrestling thing of all time, of real American, of anything.
I'm not about as a song that I like to listen to. The problem is never, no matter what version I want, it's never
I don't know if it's because I'm a guitarist, but like a 48-minute fret wanky solo, like over just like this beautiful pounding line. It's great.
I know. Well, you're using technical terminology there, so
It's just like literally entirely just A minor pentatonic boys just sitting there just rattling the thing off with a bit of a wah. Like that's the Rock's theme, but it's not.
bit of a wah.
Bit of a wah, like wah pedal. Yeah.
Wow. Technical terminology. It never did it for me.
Really?
If you want to move it,
Never mind, like that theme was like, I mean, because we were
bear in mind there's Know Your Role, which is the Attitude Hero version. Then there's I can go
Know Your Role.
Helicopter that started Raw in 95, 96.
Interesting. You know, we went to Raw back in the day, Raw is War. They just went over to an area of Stanford called Bridgeport, which is, or an area from there called Bridgeport that's just terrible. They were like, no offense if you're from there. We were gonna, it was Cornet, I think, and Pritchard have both said it before, when people asked, like, why did he shoot all these amazing things? Like, was it a studio? They're like, no, we just went over some factories in Bridgeport, and it was put out, there was just angry dogs everywhere, we just filmed it, just made, like, Austin.
The dogs weren't there?
It's just like, they were just like, they just filmed loads of stuff and just jammed it all together and made it all happen. But mate, there is no way, there is absolutely no way that this can be anywhere.
Well, by the way, if we're going to put these in tiers, the Know Your Role is far better than Electrified. I'm not having that from you, Sam Driver.
Right, okay, well we'll put Electrify on top of A.
And yeah, that one could go on S.
Like
S
the
got an
torch.
S.
There you
I
go.
know it's iconic. There's a song. I'm blinking. I've let my own thoughts and opinion blink of the iconicness of things.
Really?
Seamus is over thing now. Too many lives. Too many lives. I
It's a
don't
shameful thing. You lost your head.
It's a
Poor
shameful
soul.
thing. Lobster. Oh, the careless man who went up there. Yeah, this is nuts. I think it's better than Hellfire. Really? Yes.
I agree.
Did you go there? Too many lives. Too many lives. I think actually there is this one. No, actually,
It's dreadful, that theme is dreadful.
you speak.
It's just, it doesn't fit with all like the other things. It's like, it's weird. Like,
That's from the stock library that they
yeah.
had.
It was sort of like somebody went, can you just get near the Dropkick Murphys and make it a little bit heavier? And they just sort of just
It's a shame. It's a, oh, whoa, stop moving.
It actually says too many lines.
It's a
Too
It's
many
a shameful.
lies.
It's a shameful for they lost. Oh, it's a shameful for they lost their head. It's a comma. It's a shameful for they lost their head. A careless man who out of death. You wear your sin like it's some kind of prize. Too many lies. Too many lies. Oh, these words are true, and I'll make you believe. Oh, yeah, you fight for air and struggle just to breathe. Doesn't fit at all, does it? It can't go any higher.
It's gonna stay there. It's staying there. It was definitely, it's the only category that's not had anything, and that theme is dreadful. Because I was sat there back in the room, racking my brain, and you were like, no, it's this one. And I was like, oh yeah. It's like I blocked that out like it was a traumatic thing. Just gone. It's just gone from my
I
brain.
don't think it's as bad as that. It's better than the Mrs. theme.
Alright, let's put it in.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
What with D?
We need to move one to F at the end, just to fill the quota.
Right, so we got Mark Henry's theme.
S. Somebody gonna get their wing split. Yes. Beat them up. I reckon. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and we got it.
How dare you have to give them their
I remember the beat changed. It was just one small drum roll, like a fill.
I don't know if there was a reason why they had to do it.
So maybe it was that. Maybe it was the fact that he owned all of that stuff. I mean, they fixed what had to, didn't they? Especially when they're one ticket. Like, that Friday night, and I was like, losing my
Theatre! I don't know what was the thing. It's burning my lights. Absolutely. No questions asked. This one sucks. This one sucks.
top of the star.
Why is that Jim was crapping himself on Corrie and Jack was the fact that
He's my favourite Undertaker. My favourite Undertaker's Ministry Taker. He's just badass.
I've got one first, yes.
Oh, yes!
There he is.
I hear voices in my head.
In the din more like.
They understand.
It's terrible.
Does his name.
Everything about it.
25 minutes, and I have 25 minutes of Raw or SmackDown that you can just sort of tune out, watch an episode of Family Guy, come back, he'll have got to the ring, boom, time's sorted. So next thing we have a theme, right? If this was 2005, I would be looking at C. Yeah, but since it's 2019, and Xavier Woods and everyone else, I think even then I would have seen to this sort of thing. Oh yeah, I love this. It never connected. We got cut off again. It's one that never connected until Xavier Woods, Etal started.
Yeah, Batista.
Playing the clip from WrestleMania reactions, etc. It's a definite ST song. And when it delivers the lyrics, it's so, what animal is it? He walks alone inside Saliva.
Yeah, it's just, they were such a big band at the time. They've written a lot of bangers. And yeah, there's not really a lot you can say about it. It's just, it fits in so well.
How mysterious the lyrics are. That's when it's on to stop, because no one knows what comes next.
And I remember the end of it goes, and then goes back into the chorus.
So we discussed this earlier, Jonathan, the time is now, which as a song is worse off, but as a John Cena theme,
It's iconic.
and
Yeah.
wrestling.
I think it's more iconic than
Give me a good one, Sam. Because when he came back and started wrestling as a singles, when Matt went on to Raw and became Wogan, thousands, millions were going, bring back Too Many Lives, etc., etc.
Too many lives. Too many lives.
What's it called? No more words.
Too many lives. How do I handle these lives?
It never did anything for me, and I know that's going to upset a great deal of people watching this video, but it just never did anything for me. Did it do anything for you?
I just didn't. The worst part was like Jeff was my favourite when I was little so much, and I just there was a disconnect there for me. It was that.
It was too saturated. I know that eventually got there.
Yeah.
It started, you know, when you did the air hump and the fireworks would go off, and then it would kick in.
Yeah.
If it started like that, it would be so much better, I think. But yeah, that's besides the point. It didn't.
Randy got some company.
No, definitely not. I think it's a
I think Tom Benedicte doesn't fit him.
when it kicks in,
It's not like, it's not just, you don't hear it just go from Jeff Hardy. Nah. Like, if you sort of,
It's sort of like the Hardy's
musical,
musical
sort of, it's sort of like the Hardy.
Yeah.
It's sort of.
So there we have it. There is
Yeah.
it.
It worked out. Everyone needs to go down.
Austin stays. Jericho stays. Hogan stays. Vince stays. The game stays. Evolution stays. DX stays. One of a Kind stays. Metalingus stays. My Time stays. Sexy Boy stays. Know You're All has to stay. All stays. Whoever stays. One of my lights
shit.
stays. I Walk Alone stays. My Time is Now.
You know what I don't like about Know You're All? It's because it starts with, do you smell what the Rock is cooking? Not if you smell.
Do you smell what the Rock's
I prefer the if you smell. It's got a bit more energy.
Fair enough. So next up
Do
we
you
have
smell what the Rock?
Electrify, the worst version. The worst
It
version.
should have been flipped with the other one in my opinion.
Shinsuke Nakamura, a big tune. AJ Styles, phenomenal. This Fire Burns from CM Punk, and Thugonomics, basic Thugonomics from John Cena, which is, we should note, a better song than My Time. Slightly less iconic.
Less iconic.
And Essex and Gordon Tier of icons. Then we have Finn Balor, called him first note, so we made that both fantastic song for 2 on business. Sami Zayn, Let It Down, Hellfire by Sheamus, Here Comes the Money, which might, I think it might even go.
Yeah, I think that would have been a little bit unfair.
Maybe even then Kevin Owens. Anything else to add?
Oh, that might be harsh. I think that everyone at home is crying. You better be happy. It was really popular. It's not cool to say S tier. No, it's not S tier, but I can barely remember it. Single S tier show. Brian's White Libraries, there were Rollins with the Murdered Down included. If you didn't know, it's really high. There were Seamus to the right. Brian should be good. Maybe. I think Library should be a good thing again. Back in tandem in. I mean, Kings, Daniel Bryan now, and then the means I came to play. And then X tier, sorry. I hear voices in my head. Get in the bin. Yeah. Get in the bin. We could sit here for hours. We could. It's the last day of term for us. Well, it is for you boys. I mean, tomorrow I'm doing great. But, you know, it's your fault. Yeah. For working different. So that is it for this week's video on the Cultaholic YouTube channel. Thank you very much for joining us. You can play along with this one by WTN even better. Send us yours. Let's have a comparison. Maybe even, I think them tickets go on it. Let's have it up.
Fucking go.
Considering we saw how to change around. Consider music taste. I thought you were on all the music stuff. Let's listen to most stuff. I'm not one of those who have like views on music. If a song's a good song, I don't care who sings. I have some very strong views about metal. Because I'm on Tim and Long and Trent to begin with the Baxton. I'm a bit of a metal one. Fair enough. That's the moral of the story, really. Listen to everything. And have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Goodbye.
Truly Hard Seltzer has so many amazing flavors, you don't ever have to have the same one twice. I mean, really, who wants doing the same thing, right? But, oh, wait. That's not fair. Now, just the fresh taste with only 100 calories. From the time that man struck on New Year's Day 2010 up until this very moment, Shaw has been the most important in-ring performer in all of pro wrestling. Forget deciding on the best wrestler of one solitary year, expand that scope tenfold, and then ask yourself once more, who ruled the roost for the given duration? Not so easy to decide, is it? And besides, what makes a great wrestler anyway? Their ability to deliver acclaimed performances inside a ring night in and night out? Is it their ability to be a reliable top guy, fitting into the shoes that a big main event star must wear? Is it someone who transcends the business, burrowing into the mainstream world outside of the wrestling bubble as a genuine face of the industry? One has to assume that all qualifiers are needed. Physical performance, role portrayal, and utter transcendence. With those parameters in mind, who best fits the bill? We here at Cultaholic, with our friends, asked ourselves this very question as we pondered long and hard, deciding who among the chosen few was truly the best wrestler of all the 2010s. There are scores of incredible wrestlers that have roamed the planet in this decade, and we present to you now the absolute best of the best. But before we get there, a few honourable mentions. Pete Dunne, Adam Cole, Cody Rhodes, Will Ospreay, Volta, and Big Match John. Without any further ado, I'm Adam Pachisi from Cultaholic.com, and these are the 10 best wrestlers of the 2010s. Join us! Number 10, Becky Lynch. When the decade started, Lynch wasn't even an active wrestler. She had retired 3 years earlier at the age of 19 due to a head injury and was working as a car attendant while pursuing a career in acting. Imagine trying to convince somebody familiar with Rebecca Knox's body of work that by the end of the 2010s, not only would she be the biggest female star in WWE, but its biggest star regardless of gender. At a time when WWE used their women only as aesthetic, such a thought required navigating several continental divides. And yet, here we are in the final weeks of 2019, where Lynch is idolized by millions of fans and has a victory in a WrestleMania main event to her credit. When the Women's Revolution was introduced in 2015, Lynch was involved, but seemingly in a peripheral capacity as the plucky friend of Charlotte and Paige. Lynch was popular with fans for a number of reasons, but yet she seemed to reside entirely below the chosen few atop the division. Nobody could have guessed going into SummerSlam 2018 that an attitude change on Lynch's part would be the cause of such a seismic shift. When an irritated Lynch took her frustrations out on the forever shoehorned Charlotte, the fans understood her angst and rallied behind her. The man was born, making good on her righteous anger by doling out harsh words to those in her path and then backing up her verbal poison inside the ring. Always a skillful and reliable wrestler before the radical change in tone, Lynch was now the strongest, most complete female personality WWE had ever seen, and she resonated with the fans far more than the typical thrown-together fare of the Diva era. Becky Lynch took on the man as a handle to swipe at Charlotte Flair, but for what she managed to accomplish in such a short amount of time, the label is apt. Number 9, Seth Rollins. WWE's resident architect slash Kingslayer slash Beastslayer has become a polarizing figure. On one hand, he's a physical marvel, tirelessly leaving it all on the canvas and around ringside in an ongoing attempt to reinforce why he's the best at what he does. And it's hard not to appreciate that. Contra to that, fans who may value Rollins as a world-class talent, arguably the greatest wrestler to ever come out of NXT, have somewhat soured on him due to questionable comments he's made in recent times. He's extremely pro-WWE, and his immense pride doesn't always work well. It's a shame to see Rollins become resident whipping boy for so many, because just a few short years ago, before getting engaged to the man, he himself was quite simply the man. Ring of Honor fans knew all too well what Rollins brought to the table as Tyler Black, dotting his 2010 with excellent ROH title bouts against Roderick Strong, Austin Aries, and Davey Richards. It didn't take long before WWE came calling, and when Black became Rollins, he crowned his way through the developmental system as class valedictorian. But how far would Rollins go on a main roster that sometimes hesitated to heavyweights? Well, 2 years and 4 months after arriving on the main stage with his rising Kevlar, Rollins was standing tall at the end of WrestleMania 31, swinging the richest prize in the game over his head. As a character, this was peak Rollins, the most cunning and devious of villains, playing his trump card in grand fashion before the biggest audience. But whatever the booking, Rollins the wrestler remains consistently strong, whether he's working his arse off in 65-minute performances on Raw or just delivering match of the night otherwise. Love him or hate him, Seth Rollins' work ethic and drive to be the best have never diminished, and it's why he caught everyone's eye in the first place.
At Sam Adams, we have a question. Why are we not toasting each other more? Because...
Number 8, Chris Jericho. When the decade began, Y2J was on the outs with tag team partner Big Show letting his icy disdain for the world slip in favor of pouting neediness. Today, he's the kingpin of all other wrestling, the self-aggrandizing rock star who views himself as bigger than the promotion. The ex-Rose Fedora is far from the only hat Jericho has worn in his career, as the multi-time world champion has proven to be as versatile as a pop diva when it comes to style, attitude, and accessories. Even today, Jericho's overall presentation remains in flux, never one to rely on the same old, same old. Today, Jericho is 49 years old, and it's clear in his appearance that he's not the spring-loaded thrill-seeker he once was. And yet, Jericho is at the same time the most ageless wrestler there is, defying the passage of time by remaining relevant and contemporary. His uncanny ability to evolve better than anyone else keeps him at the top of cards, where New Japan saw value in him as returning guest and AEW as a cornerstone icon. WWE before them were happy to bring Jericho back for extended spells, and even there, fans never got the same Jericho twice. At his advancing age, Jericho is pro wrestling's Metallica, not as thrashy and frenetic as he was in his youth, but still finds ways to mightily deliver the goods. Matches with Kenny Omega, Cody Rhodes, and Tetsuya Naito have shown. He's also the consummate team player, using his stardom to elevate the likes of Darby Allin and Scorpio Sky, as well as his inner circle teammates. Perhaps no wrestler has more MVP-like qualities than Le Champion in terms of sheer merit to his home promotion. At any age, Chris Jericho has been a wrestler's wrestler, giving so freely of himself without ever diminishing his value or stock. Number 7, Brock Lesnar. Now, before you cry foul, consider the following. Number 1, only wrestling in conjunction with the passing of Halley's Comet or the release of a decent Uwe Boll movie does not disqualify you from consideration. Is it Brock's fault that Vince McMahon is all too happy to offer him an ungodly amount of money to work a feather-light schedule? Well, as Brad Pitt in Inglourious Bastards might have said to Brock, I don't blame ya, damn good deal. If you can look past the relatively paltry number of matches Lesnar wrestles in per year, you're left with a genuine star that still performs on another level while still looking the part all these years later. Yes, Brock has his bouts that feature more Germans than a crowd at a Bayern Munich match, but one figures that's more Lesnar following someone else's orders. When given the opportunity to give and take with someone, optimum Lesnar. CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, Finn Balor, AJ Styles, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and Samoa Joe are among those who matched up beautifully with WWE's final boss. And that's not even considering Lesnar's fight to the near death with The Undertaker at Hell in a Cell 2015, almost matching the intensity and spectacle of the match they had 13 years earlier. Brock's reduced schedule works to his advantage in that he never grows stale from week to week overuse. It may not be the most convenient thing in the world for a company's champion to be gone for long stretches, but that is on WWE, not Lesnar. And it may be a little less true now than it was from, say, 2012 to 2016 or 17, but the idea of a Lesnar match was truly exciting. Between his box office and mainstream appeal, and the fact that no wrestler can do precisely what he does as well as he does, Lesnar has proven to be a cult.
I should have healed. Oh my god, I'm on fire. Fuck you. Oh, they're moving now.
Awful draw with once-in-a-generation talent to back him up. Number 6, Hiroshi Tanahashi. On a wrestling landscape where rising stars and established heroes may have busy, overly wordy nicknames, Tanahashi is easily summed up through simple brevity. Rather concisely, he is the ace of New Japan Wrestling, and that's hardly a cooked-up moniker. So much of New Japan's resurrection from auto-ran to global superpower was ferried on the back of Tanahashi, who has embodied the spirit of the promotion as well as any pillar in company history. Calling him reliable is apt, but fails to tell the whole story of an idol whose endurance seems to have few limits. Already a four-time IWGP Heavyweight Champion upon entering the decade, Tanahashi doubled that total in the 10 years since, among them a 400-plus day reign, and tallied a couple more victories in the G1 Climax to boot. But more impressive than the afforded gold is the quality of the work. Fans and critics will point to his legendary battles with rival Kazuchika Okada as proof positive of Tanahashi's greatness, but one can't leave out epics with Shibata, Suzuki, Nakamura, and Naito from the past 7 years to go with countless other acclaimed battles. Even among such an esteemed peer group in New Japan, Tanahashi has consistently remained in the absolute pantheon. What is it about Tanahashi's legend that will endure the longest? Is it his inimitable charisma, able to draw fans sympathy through subtle storytelling and sheer force of personality? Is it his innate capacity for going hold to hold, move for move with the greatest wrestlers on the planet, doing so for more than a decade and a half? Is it his consistency as a New Japan cornerstone, ever reliable whenever called upon in changing times and transitional periods for the company? Whatever feelings Tanahashi and his total body of work evoke from you, it likely attests to a star of a million accolades and overqualification for each. Number 5.
Something my bank gave me.
Santander gave me Simply Right checking. Use the account.
5. AJ Styles. A seemingly eternal standard bearer for total non-stop action, the phenomenal one began the decade as TNA World Heavyweight Champion. If you were to tell somebody, even his biggest fan, that within 10 years he'd have held the IWGP Heavyweight and WWE World titles too, they may have found it hard to believe. After all, even when he was TNA's top dog, he still seemed to play second fiddle to the assorted veterans brought in from other major promotions, ones coveted by starstruck management. Despite the otherworldly talent Styles possessed, and the fact he virtually carried the promotion for long stretches, seldom did he feel like the biggest fish in a small pond. There is a workmanlike level of excellence to AJ Styles, a continuous safe bet that, given enough time to work his magic, will probably have the best or second best match on even the most loaded of cards. That statement is as true today as it was in 2002, when the clean-shaven, short-haired upstart was doing his regular dance of death with Jerry Lynn in front of Nashville crowds. Point is, Styles taught his fans to have high expectations, and whether as a show stealer or a show saver, or both, he never let anyone down. A couple years in New Japan built mightily on the existing praise for him, proving he belonged on the same level as the Okadas and the Suzukis and the Nakamuras of the world, while the Bullet Club iconography imbued his underrated edge. Within 1 year in WWE, he was trusted to put John Cena down clean as a sheet and hold the top prize in the game. To be that valuable in the eyes of 3 enduring promotions promotions, however you may feel about TNA, cannot be a coincidence. The effortless agility, gritty wrestling style, and underrated charisma have only proven themselves through the years. Now wrestling on a hefty WWE contract, AJ Styles' hard work has paid off, and few deserve his spoils more. Number 4, CM Punk. When it comes to cultural influence, there aren't many wrestlers, including the other inhabitants in this video, that quite equal exactly what Punk has meant to so many fans. Despite only being an active wrestler for 40% of the given time frame, his legend continues to endure. Granted, him being a talking head on the late-night WWE discussion show only fuels the rumours of a long-anticipated comeback more, but even if he were to spend 20 years in exile, we'd all still be talking about the possibility of the prodigal Punk donning the star-pattern trunks once more. Now that is a man who truly made his mark. You can talk about his matches, and sure, the battles with John Cena, Daniel Bryan, Brock Lesnar, and The Undertaker are absolutely worth mentioning. In terms of main roster WWE matches, he's going to rank very highly among his peers for the decade, 6 years in retirement or not. But what endures most is how he made fans feel, rabble-rousing with an incendiary microphone in hand. In all too safe, all too sanitized WWE, CM Punk was desired danger, upsetting a tedious balance with an explosive torrent that he deliver oh so matter-of-factly. His name is still chanted today at WWE events, a counter-strike to anything that feels like business as usual or worse. And that's why Punk resonated the most, because he wasn't business as usual. In the prior decade, he became an unlikely WWE performer, and everything about his rise seemed to meet unnecessary resistance. Fans identified with parts of Punk's struggle and his subsequent anger, and anything he said and did felt real. When Punk beat the system at the 2011 Money in the Bank in his native Chicago, his victory was everybody's victory. The fact that it was a 5-star match was secondary to the population's desire to see one man win. They can't stop chanting CM Punk's name, and some people fail to understand why. Number 3, Daniel Bryan. When you think of the moments that best define Daniel Bryan, your mind tends to veer toward one of his in-ring opuses, or the times when he conquered some great roadblock en route to a championship win. But really, to see Core D. Bry, all you have to do is go back to that famous night in Seattle when, surrounded
Who's Arthur?
by a cadre of former WWE champions in a special ceremony, the fans treated him as a guest of honor instead of the supporting actor that he was cast as. Bryan's disbelieving smile and laugh were from a man too humble to truly grasp his fame. Yes, the American Dragon will go down in history as one of the greatest technicians there has ever been, but few marvels of the mat ever earn the kind of love and respect that Bryan gets. That's why when WrestleMania 30 looked like it was going to come and go without WWE's most popular star in the world title picture, fan response was swift and negative. Consummate wrestlers have developed cult followings, but the support behind Bryan was on a whole other level. The crowds changed the WrestleMania booking, forcing the hand of the machine to switch gears. Who else wields that kind of influence? And the funny thing, Bryan wields it sort of absent-mindedly. He just goes out there and does his job almost flawlessly, whether it's chain wrestling at an expert level, ragdolling himself against a larger foe, eliciting sympathy for his gallant efforts, or earning scorn for his caustically delivered thoughts when he happens to play the bad guy. Through time, the support for Bryan grew to mythic levels, and all he did to earn it was do his job. Unknowingly, Bryan tapped into an evolving fan base that puts less premium into over-the-top sports entertainment and more towards visible hard work, the trials and tribulations of those who keep on grinding away. Daniel Bryan probably never saw himself as the eventual embodiment of this kind of pro wrestling evolution, but there he was, smiling beneath the confetti and fireworks at the Superdome. Number 2, Kenny Omega. Opinions on Omega have differed, and the more prolific his work has gotten, the more some detractors have doubled down with their stance on his apparent flaws as a performer. To the polar opposite end of that spectrum, the raves from others for Omega have only increased with each passing year, walking in lockstep with his rise to the apex of New Japan Pro Wrestling. When you earn the handle of Best Bout Machine, and Dave Meltzer KOs the Shift and 8 keys on his laptop because of your contributions to wrestling, it means others have noticed what you bring to the table. Perhaps more so than any other wrestler, Omega is extraordinarily difficult to define. A walking intangible. For his fancy is a man with unparalleled total athleticism and an endless reserve of energy, exuding the sort of rare charisma that made him a megastar, one that WWE's machine could not claim paternity to. Omega's critics, meanwhile, note the spot-tastic nature of his matches and take issue with his sometimes offbeat selling. Different people look at the same portraits and come to wildly different conclusions. In a time where pro wrestling has never been more amorphous, an unconventional star like Omega may well be its king. And the plaudits are there. Sports Illustrated declared him Wrestler of the Year in 2017, while PWI deemed him the #1 male wrestler in the world the following year. His series of matches with Kazuchika
This dead city has nothing to offer. Go back. Do not seek the old chaos, nor its twisted flame.
Well, consider me a damn fool. I see something up there. Alright, let's do this. Big old tiger! Abba, the king's pet. So that's what it means by Abba. Oh! Ow. I thought I had my shield up. It's not. Ooh, that's close. What? Just me to get bigger. Nah, it might just be. Nope. 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 Got it. Any other words of wisdom? I got one. Don't judge me. Don't judge what I can do. Although I will say, probably should have that. But in the meantime,